I somehow prepped for series faster than I thought I would. I didn't realize that ad was still going, but I am here. I am back as the host, surprise, surprise, V-Line Bus, and I have just realized that the maps are still downloading. I blame me streaming for this. But no, we have a new team this season, Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons. Oh, that's going to be fun to say. I also realized I'll update the title in a few moments. Facing off against Cool Cats and Kittens. Which I've seen some things of Cool Cats and Kittens. They're a pretty good team from what I've seen. They have good pre-existing synergy. They've been here a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons as they are coming into something a little more, something that they haven't. It's their first season together as a team, is what I'm trying to say. And I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup for them. Ah, yep, I remember these people now. I just read names like Horvath, Beowulf. I'm like, yep, I remember this team. So, I don't know who first picked, who Matt picked. That's not something I check. Just because I'm a little bit lazy, and also I don't want to spoil myself the series. I don't like being spoiled. I very much like being as blind coming in as anyone else potentially watching. I made a horrible mistake. But right, we're getting into the game. We do have Tomb of Spider Queen, so let's get on into things. Actually, I'll pause it. We have Tomb of Spider Queen, but we did see Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons banned out the Garden of Terror and Braxis, which I wish people would let through Braxis a bit more. I really enjoy casting it. And then we see on the other side, Cool Cats and Kittens did ban out Battlefield of Eternity, so not liking the 2-lane maps today, I see, as well as Ultrac. So fortunately, we won't be getting Ultrac as a repeat. I don't know what we will be getting as a repeat in saying that, but at least not Ultrac. So without further ado, now, I hope I've spelled everything right. I realize I'm horrible. The older I've gotten, the more I realize I'm really bad at spelling. My spelling isn't great by any means. It's passable, but it's not amazing. So right, now that I've actually gotten everything that I want to updated, because apparently I forget titles exist, I'm going to swap on over the game, and we're going to get into things, and we'll see how this goes. I've swapped to the wrong screen. There we go. So, on the left-hand side of Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons, we do have Marius on the Mephisto. Icy Morning on Anduin. Mother Koss is on Varian. Mr. Craig on the Blaze, which imagines the off lane. And Crate Beast on the Sylvanas. And on the right-hand side, we do have Lubidium on Stukov. Pushover. Yep, we have a hyper carry comp. Pushover is on that Vala. Beowulf, Zarya. Horvath is on... Oh god, what's his name? Garrosh, and we see Haruno is actually on Tyrael, so a Bruiser Tyrael. So 2 tank bruises happening here. We do see the auto attack build Vala, and whenever I see Ufa and... can't remember her name. Zarya. I'm never sure about that comp, because it's 2 very much burst protection type heroes, where sustained then becomes a problem, especially when you already have a lot of protection from burst between the Garrosh who gets his armor, and then just Vala who can actually roll out of danger. So Zarya and Ufa together is always questionable, I find. But I guess we have to see how this goes. If Cool Cats and Kittens wins the game, then yeah, sure, that's all fair. But if the Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons take it, it'll be very much to go, okay, what then? So in terms of that, we do see that... Alright, yeah, the name. I was like, what are you on about? I'm like, oh yeah, that's where it comes from. That's the names, what the name references. Also, we see Shadow Dagger Sylvanas. Not often you see... I should make a bit like how many stacks of this do we see, but I'm too late to do that. And that we do also see the Lion's Maw Varian. And actually, Zarya went maximum charge at level 1, so they're also stacking. We do see Vala stacking their auto attacks. So, no. Creed of a Hunter is going to be slowly stacked up. It will take a while. As well as Ufa went the Hammer of Justice? Hammer of the Lightbringer at level 1. So a lot of stacking going on here. So we have to see how that one goes. Marius throwing a Q. Can't quite find it. And actually, no, they're just for Lightning Nova build instead. We see both camps being picked up. Great Beast, honestly, Icy Morning, Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons a lot later on theirs than that of Cool Cats and Kittens. But they are going to be given a little bit of time to clear. But Blaze now, however, in a little bit of trouble. There isn't that crazy lockdown. Ufa needs to be on basically top of him immediately. And because they took a much safer rotation than Harano, Mr. Craig was able to get out. But I think if that was a little bit more aggressive by Ufa, that may have been a kill. Right, Harano just smacking Mr. Wait. Never mind. Anduin died. Anduin died. Was over-explaining things. Good work, me. Right, we see Beowulf getting some energy. Horvar pushing in. That camp's cleared pretty quick. Black arrows freezing that wave. We can see it is that explosion as the wave slowly pops. And just for camp left, we'll go down. Pushover actually took a lot of damage here for not really any reason. But I imagine, yep, speed barrier, Garrosh. So that's going to be a Garrosh zooming at around 150% movement speed. Wrong diving. You're right, that's the one thing I forgot to do. I knew there's something. A. Done. I love not having like east or west with div A because I can just type A and that's correct. That right there is a correct looking div. Horvath didn't quite find Mother Cost of the slam, but they will all be fine. But also thank you for telling me that. I sometimes forget. That's the thing I forget about the most in all honesty. I should really like leave a post-it note on my actual Lubidium Soar into safety, by the way. I should leave a post-it note on my notes just going, change division rank. And then like 2 other post-it notes of what team it is so I don't have to constantly look at my other monitors. Or like a small whiteboard that maybe... I think we have a small whiteboard somewhere. Anyway, while I've been talking about what I should do to make myself remember things, we do see that Cool Cats and Kittens has turned in. So they are going to be off to start. They do have 7s through. And we're just going to have a quick look at those talents. We also see that it is a taunt variant, by the way. So we're very much leaning into that blow-up. However, I don't know how well that goes. Sylvanas needs to stack a lot for that to work. And, well, you're not really wanting to scale late if you're a variant comp. You're wanting to end early. So I'm wondering if that may be a misstep by the enemy, by the team of Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons. Haunting wave coming through. Crate Beast actually getting hit for a decent amount. Tower going down. And there's not going to be too much they can do to step into this. Because between Lubidium and Beowulf, it's a very hard team to quite deal with. Actually, we see Horvath getting low early on will be fine. Yeah, and actually, I don't know how you kill Horvath if you're the team of Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons. You may have to go the percent damage on Ring with Marius. Because you don't have percent damage anymore for Sylvanas. That was picked at level... That could have been picked at level 1. We're a bit late for that. We can see now this is slowly going down. Will be found... Will not quite find any buildings. We do see the front gates of each respective fort down. But we don't see much more. And we do also now see a turn-in is available for Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons. Cool Cats and Kittens, meanwhile, looking to see what they can do to get as much pressure on the field as possible. And there is honestly a meatball of this free man just running around, not really caring about anything else. Which, to be fair, if you're in that meatball, you're probably feeling pretty safe if you're right about now. Because they're just going to hit that camp and ultimately be on their merry way, not having to worry about too much. Rotation coming up, and we do see Web Weavers handed in by the blue team. They will have time to get around and be ready for it. But we can see Bubbles used. And also, actually, Lubidium with this, not Lubidium, but Uva in general with the speed bubble also very well. Because both I keep going to say the hero, players instead of the heroes. But both Horvath and Lubidium are playing two characters that have a very strong CC tools between Uva, point and click hammer, as well as Horvath's throw and Q. Very strong CC tools. However, their engage kind of doo-doo. It's not good. It takes a while to walk up. That speed barrier making you move faster than mount speed, 150% for a small but decent chunk of time, is a lot to deal with. But we can see top was cleared pretty easily. Bottom is also going to be cleared by Crates of Harano pretty safely. Only half a gate down bottom. Actually, gate, tower, most of one tower. Nothing touched top. And bottom, we do see a charge coming out onto Horvath. Beowulf stepping up very high. We do see the expulsions of that's Mother Cost split. Thrown and stunned. That is them not getting much of a choice where to live, but Icy Morning gets a very nice pull out. And Mother Cost gets to live a little bit longer than expected. Slam coming out in a fit of fury by Horvath, but they will be fine. Beowulf taking a decent amount, but ultimately going to be fine. Charge hitting Beowulf directly in the butt. We do see that it is the Mephisto ult coming out, but there's not really that follow-up. D-Shield comes out. That is a very alive Zarya. However, speaking about alive, we do see Horvath has a little bit more issues, but however, the unstop from them, that Indomitable live for just long enough. And they live. The feeling when you don't blow up, so you chuck about. Look, when in doubt, throw the squishiest hero in your team at the enemy. Which I don't know if that's appropriate 7F. I'm sure 7F's you're gone. Maybe I could throw Ekta at the enemies and they may have a problem. But I don't know what roles you guys play. Or even if you're on the same team, I assume. Wait, no, you're not. I don't think Ekta's on Duratines. I don't know. I'm very bad at keeping track of what teams people are in. I keep track of like 5 people at most. You see Horvath running at Marius, but no, they are just there for the soak. They're there for a couple of gems maybe. Yeah, I thought you went on Duratines, but I don't know what team you're on. But now we do see a rotation coming up. You were. Oh, there you go. Pushover slapping Koss a little. Koss getting the slow onto Horvath. Roll in by pushover. Thankfully, Mother Koss doesn't really have a damage here to follow them up. Otherwise, taunts may have been a very viable option. But now it's both teams have turned in. We see that the side of Cool Cats and Kittens are going to have a much easier time. Lubidium, very hard to stop. We do see Blaze barely get something on it. There is a very nice, whatever it's called, Durance of Hate. No, not, yeah, Durance of Hate. But that expulsion zone directly under the central targets made it much harder to do anything with it. But they do back out. Well, there you go, Victor. I'm not even good at with the history of NGS. I made 7th Ace just die on the inside when they tried giving me a history lesson. But here we are. I don't think Ace ever wants to give me a history lesson of NGS again after that debacle. But no, we do see that the teams are going to be crashing mid. Blue Web Weavers this time once again. You absolutely would, that's a mistake. So we do see the expulsion zone coming out. Crate Beast stuck in a little bit of a corner, but that is the team already clearing out bruises. Web Weaver's coming up. Nice double stump of Mr. Craig. However, that's the taunt. Only finding the Blaze. Interesting to know that, but we do see that both D-Shield and Sanctification were used there. So that is a lot of defensive tools by Cool Cats and Kittens used in that one moment. Pidgeons, Perilous Pidgeons. Actually, maybe onto something here. They got out those major defensives. I'd like to see them hold here, potentially making it much harder to get to the Web Weaver, but no. Being a little bit. Ace may die. Ace may actually die. But no, we do see now the Web Weaver is pushing in. They're going to be starting. Yep, there it is. But no, they're not going to be really able to support it. We see that speed barrier, but Crate Beast barely out of way. Mr. Craig missing their charge. Expulsion zone. If you're... Oh, no throw by Horvath. So like maybe Mr. Craig goes into the building, but no, they do not. Right, and we can see now the wave getting burnt. And Horvath left the game. Yeah, there was a pause here. I'm like, there's probably a pause here and they're reconnecting. It looks like now everything is back to as it should be. And I wonder if they're aware of what's happening just above them. Koss doesn't check. So now this may be a pretty free boss actually for the side of Cool Cats and Kittens. And boss goes down. Just like that. And now you're going... I've got boss to deal with. They also have turned in. So you need to make a decision here if you're Pidge's Perilous positions. Do you just fight and hope that you can get the kills to stop this? Or do you just clear boss? But it looks like fighting is the option. Mr. Craig is in the middle of everything. That unstop hitting Beowulf, however... Not Beowulf, that was hitting Beowulf. We see the Sanctification drop. And that is a ball of people just running at Blaze. Blaze goes down. Koss getting a laser beam the whole time. Horvath getting a nice flame. Mother Koss in danger. Pushover goes in, tries to see if he can kill, but no, they're not able to. All the while, boss has been pushing top. He's alone by himself. Look at him go. Never mind. Found the enemy team. Hi, Varian. Violence is always... I wouldn't say it's always the answer. As Jaina says, she hates resorting to violence. But no. We're going to have Web Weavers coming up. Both actually very high. Two very high in the lane. I would like to see maybe Tyrael come up. I don't know if bottom's necessary to go with now, especially when you have 5 and 4 coming up. But once again, we see Expulsion Zone, making it a little bit harder for Pidge's Perilous Pigeons to move in. They are going to be burning their Web Weaver, but we do now see a wholesale rotate coming out to deal with bottom, and likely going to be pushing that next gate. But all while top, this Web Weaver kind of just vibing, just kind of pushing a little, but will ultimately not do too much. Yeah, Jaina hates resorting to violence, as she just runs up and blizzards you. Because it's far better than getting hit with a fireball, supposedly. Unlike Kalefish, who's like, yeah, fire, mate, let's go. I don't know why I gave, like, the most aggressive accent I could that I can do. Like, yeah, no, just Pyro Blast's mate over here, she'll be right, she'll go down pretty quick. But no, we see the throw coming out from Horvath as the pull comes out onto Mother Cost, they're ultimately going to be fine. That's true, she does have one of the highest burst damage, the highest burst damage in the game. But no, we do see Horvath slowing down because of Marius, but that bubble does speed them out, and they will be safe. Ultimately, they do get to the siege camp, and they're probably going to look at doing it, because it's 16 advantage now for Cool Cats and Kittens. I don't imagine Pidge's Perilous Pigeons are wanting to step in currently. And I've also realized more and more, that's a horrible name to say, Pidge's Perilous Pigeons. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the easiest. But I'm slowly getting my mouth around, like, wrapping words around that, getting it better and better. And meanwhile, we see Horvath is wanting to get a murder. Speed bubble out. Horvath doesn't find anything. Unfortunate. Yeah, I'll just have some more water. Blaze is separate from everyone else. Blaze is actually potentially in a bad spot if they decide to... Yeah. Not a bad idea, but not a great one. Mr. Craig, again, is alone. I'm surprised there's no rotate onto them. I think if they did that, they could have been a good kill for Cool Cats and Kittens onto Mr. Craig. But nope, instead they are just going to get that turn, and they do reveal that they're on this camp, but really there's not too much that the Pidgeons can do about it. So the Pidgeons just going to clear, going to get their 16s, and now we'll actually have a much more even fight. I'm just going to quick open talents. Nice, we do see Benediction Uther, that's the main thing I was looking out for. And most of the quests are complete. We're at 126 Shadow Dagger stacks, pretty good. We have 101 auto attack stacks on the Vala. So Pushover could be doing a little bit more with that, but it's been a pretty hard one to get that damage in sometimes because Pidge's Perilous Pigeons are not really fighting as much as maybe the other team want to. Bunker drop. We do see Pool coming up, but however, Blaze now is an awkward spot. If you're Mr. Greg, keep running upwards. That's the spot, mate. But no, it's Tyrael going down. We're going to see probably a bomb directly dropped on top of someone. Crate Beast takes a decent amount of damage. But that is the kill you need if you're Pidge's Perilous Pigeons, as you are looking for a way to get back in this, and that is a good way to do so. Yeah, it does seem strange, but I guess Windrunner is considered a safer talent with that double teleport, especially if you are picking the Festering Wounds at level 7, just because it's easier to apply your stacks and you can get in and out pretty safely. But no, we do see now that the wave is going down as well. That bottom Web Weaver was still pushing a little bit, but now that is that phase done. Turn-in is available for the side of Pidge's Perilous Pigeons, and both teams have pretty much stayed step in step when it comes to the objective in terms of the crystals itself, because they're basically the same number now. They're equidistant away to that 65, except just that Pidge's Perilous Pigeons does need to get the turn-in first. Harano looks to go in. Mother Cost backing out enough to where that Holy Ground would not have locked them in, because that could have been a death sentence there for anyone stuck. And I think Pushover, I'm just stuck on the P sounds now. Pushover has not died to my understanding. No, it is only Tyrael that's died for the side of Cool Cats and Kittens. Meanwhile, Blaze and Anduin have had, unfortunately, the receiving end of a couple of deaths for Pidge's Perilous Pigeons. Well, Cool Cats and Kittens pretty safe. And boss is being started. Cost does know, but it looks like they're waiting for the team. Oil finds Horvath. Tyrael throws their sword in the bush. Holy Ground stopping. Now this is actually a dangerous one to push into. We're just going to see probably Holy Ground come up. We got a lot of things going on. We do see Expulsion Zone. Holy Ground doesn't need to pop. There it is, and we do now, sorry, Sanctification. You see one pull, but however, that is now Varian in between a rock and a hard place, and they go down. Nice charge from Mr. Craig. However, goes in Sanctification onto Horvath. That is in Horvath finding a kill onto Blaze. Sylvanas is in danger. They pop that activated, that's 16 activatable, but now we see Marius pulled to safety. Icy Morning doing the best he can, getting a nice double root. But it looks like they don't care. Cool Cats Kittens just run down that Mephisto, and they're going to start building. This may be a GG here. They do have a boss. Yeah, that should be game. That's definitely game. Yep, absolutely. Not too much Anduin can do by himself. He's just sitting in the core, watching the core slowly fall. But however, that core no longer falling slowly. It's going down quicker and quicker. And slowly we see it edging towards the 0%, which will be coming in right now. GG, scored by both teams. Good first game. Very strong performance by Cool Cats Kittens and Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons. A little bit of difficulty coming into it, so it'll be interesting to see how they adapt, let's say. Right, let me go to the game summary screen and see what happens. When the chat eventually disappears from it anyway. So, in terms of Siege, Zarya and Blaze actually neck and neck almost. 200 more for Zarya. But in terms of Soak, Terrio did a little bit out more than the Blaze, but there was an experience deficit that did come through. That we do see hero damage. Mephisto actually doing a lot. Vala, however, Hypercarry was so safe that that damage almost meant nothing in some instances. So I guess I have to eat my words when it comes to the solid heal Ufa plus the Zarya being not enough protection without that sustain, but it worked out. That we're going to look at talents. Anything that stands out to me? No. But I also don't know some of these heroes. Like, I'm not the greatest Zarya player. I can't say much about that. Other than that, it's all pretty standard stuff. Without healing, and yeah. Anduin didn't really have too much to heal was the thing. As we saw, the most damage was Vala 47, and when a character was getting hit, there was a lot of focused damage onto that one hero, so they did go down a lot of the time. So, let me change on over to the map view screen. What do you mean, Vala games? What do you mean? And Cool Cats wins one. So what do we have next is the question. We'll find out in a few moments, so bear with me as I open it up. Another map 2, Towers of Doom. Last time we saw Towers of Doom tonight, this evening, that went in favor of the team who won map number 1, so I'm wondering... Is it bad seeing Hypercarry Vala behind free frontlines was the first thing telling me I should bring you in? Followed by the prospect of scouting? What? What? I do not know what you mean by that. Right, we're in the game. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully, Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons can get something over the other team of Cool Cats and Kittens. Which may not be the easiest because there's a TLV on the field, which TLV is actually pretty good on this map. They can cover all those lanes and let the side of... fair enough. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Ace, you're always not going to be a fan of Vala's Power Curve design, because she will be like this for the foreseeable future. But no, we do see Crazy for Harano on that TLV. Lubidium is on the Lily, push over Tigers, Beowulf, Cassia, and Horvath is on the May. On the other side, we do have Crate Beast on the Li Ming, Mr. Craig on the Zul, Icy Morning Lucio, Mother Koss on the Diablo, and Marius on the Vala. Well, guess what? There's still going to be a Vala this game. So, you got that to deal with. Anyway, we do see another wave. Teams are going to be trading. I'm going to pull up talents because what a surprise. We do actually see a Q build with that Vala actually getting 2 stacks already in the first 30 seconds. Pretty decent start for a Vala in terms of Q quest. Otherwise, you do also see the Q quest on Cassia, also quite a fun one. But that's about it for the stacking early on. We also see the Bribe Vikings, I will mention. This is one of those maps where the Vikings don't get... Oh, that little boop may have been a little bit of counter-synergistic. Mother Koss ending up not finding the wall stun, actually having to back out quite far. And actually we see Devil's Dew on the Koss. Does CCK ever punish Vala though? They have blinds? But that's about it. She isn't going blind build though, so it's not the easiest. There's actually a lot of spell damage for the side of Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons, so may have to change up the build they want to go and pick the spell armor instead. Saying that, we do see Koz is the one who does get punished, however, as Tychus is just wailing on the Marius, tries to finish off Icy Morning. Not able to boop him off, but they do get the objective anyway. Sure, Diablo goes down, but you still got your camp at least. And that was a ouch if you're the Mother Koz getting taken down by a meatball of people running at you. How's Vikings going? Yeah. Yeah. I feel sorry for Mr. Craig here, I'm going to be honest. We've got a lot of leg work to do in this game. But we do see that it is the sappers getting taken out pretty comfortably, actually, by Pidgeons, Perilous, Pidgeons. I'd imagine that Cool Cats and Kittens weren't going to give them that much room to work with, but they gave much more room to work with than I thought, and they were actually able to clear the sappers before they got to gate. Pushover is pushed in. We do see a nice push by Horvath, however, it does not quite find what they need. Pushover backing out, and that is a not quite as easy trade. And actually, we can see Lily currently not keeping up very easily. Oh, QEQ, Beowulf taking a decent amount, does dodge the orb. And 30 armor is a pretty hefty amount to deal with for the side of Pidgeons, Perilous, Pidgeons. But I imagine when we see Vala get, wow, magical, what a surprise, at 16, that's going to be a lot harder for them to deal with. Speaking of hard to deal with, poor Mr. Craig. They're going to have a little bit of a hassle coming into this objective. This is not one where you can just trade out the top objectives like you do typically. This is one where you do need active management of top, because you can just have a Viking pester you the whole time, and you may honestly need Leeming to give a little hand up top.
Go forth and claim the altars.
Beowulf is starting the objective. Crate Beast is down here now. Does that Viking get there in time? No! TLV doesn't get there in time. That's very unfortunate. TLV basically needed to be there to pester the Zul immediately. So that is actually an easier turn in for an easier grab of objective for Mr. Graham than they would have thought. And they do see that Root is coming out. Mothercost running up Ludidium, but Ludidium is honestly going to be fine. Heron over back trying to find what they can, but no, that is a double kill now. Because that Q found Lucio perfectly. However, the Tychus went down to what it typically hunts. The tank takes down the tank killer, and then not long after, we see Cassia go down as well. Yeah, sure, I can absolutely bring talents up again, because we did just hit level 7s for one team and level 7s for the other. So we actually have Zul going the... Let me move my mic over here as I'm just doing something. We have Zul going that stacking build. Oh, we do see a Viking down. We see another Viking down. All three Vikings are down. But yeah, Vala's at 17 Q stacks already, which is a lot. 20. Also, this middle objective still up. 22 stacks on the Cassia as well for their one. And we just get very standard pick. Beowulf stepping up quite high. Could be the rest of the team, actually. Oh, Marius rolling in. I'll actually bring up his talents again. But no, we actually get a bigger VR Tychus, which makes sense into things such as Diablo. Diablo does show it's your TLV build. Good. I hate it. No, I do not play TLV well enough to really comment on the build itself. It's not a character I'm very good at. I like a lot of tricky heroes, though. I'd say that. Tricky being a loose term, considering what game this is. And we see Marius get to end.
Like all the others.
How dare you let Eric die? I'm reporting you. No, I'm not going to be reporting anything like that. Harado, let the cute one at least live. The other two, fine. The cute one, let it live. Eric's the cute one. You know what? That's fair enough, Hector. It may still differ, however. We're not quite sure yet. But it is definitely following that standard Soak TLV build. Yeah, that standard Soak TLV build. 10's going to be coming up shortly for both teams. We do see another Q going after Beowulf. Beowulf dodging it. Oh, okay. Nice to know. No, we just do get some safe poke. Leeming getting some damage underneath. We see another Viking going down at top. Mr. Craig is having a much easier time this time. And surprisingly, no, actually, no, I never would. Never mind, I was about to say something dumb. I'll take it back. We do see that there is still a sapper up. It does go down now. Nice glow. Marius taking a lot. Nice boop by Icy Morning, letting Marius live. The charge as well, helping stop the May trying to get in. Sorry, I was testing something. We see now Pushover gets hit with a decent globe. Marius getting a couple of Qs out. And this Val is getting stacked more and more. But speaking about getting stacked, Mother Cost loses their Soul Stone. However, they did get 10s just before that happened, so they will be back with 25 souls. Ice Wall drops. There's a high five coming up from Lucio. Marius, a great beast to get to live. Horvath low. Lubidium low as well. Lily did pop Jugs there, but even after Jugs, the health is still not very high. And we now have a very fresh Diablo coming on in. Yeah, sure, it's a squishy Diablo, but it is a fresh Diablo to say the least. Now, actually, Pushover used the Commandeer Odin there. We do see Flip, Push, Haruno dead. We see QE, Q, Marius, Horvath low, push over low. We do need to see a spread now. And they do actually spread pretty well. There's only 4 jumps of that maximum of 6. Mr. Craig pushing in, doing what they can. And actually Cassia goes down above them. Marius will be the one getting objective. Actually goes to the right spot to do this. Very good positioning by them. A little bit better than the one we just saw with the previous map, because we just saw the Li Ming standing over here. This time getting just walked up, slapped by Varian, compared to the over here. It's a lot harder to hit you. You need to take those extra steps, and taking those extra steps sometimes can be the difference between life and death, especially in this game. The top camp is taken. Mr. Craig now having to deal with more. Again, poor Mr. Craig, but they are at least getting some. Yeah, Li Ming. Where did Eric's body go? Oh my god, it was over here. Sometimes bodies go flying this map, but to quickly touch on the heroics that both teams have pushed. My words are dying. We do see that it is the skeletal mages on Zul. Not often you see that. You often see the poison over. And that we see Apoc, Diablo, the Rain of Vengeance, Vala. That is also a lot of damage. That's a nice triple stun by Vala. However, Horvath is the one going to wall, does get flipped away. Lily has dropped her jugs. The Jug of 1,000 Cups doing a lot of healing. And we do see all while Marius doing what damage he can, as well as the Crate Beast. But now we do see a little bit of a turnaround pushover, and Beowulf turning it back. But that is still Horvath relatively low compared to the other team members on field. But we see QEQ once again, and Beowulf taking a lot of damage. Marius gets out of danger. They are at Frost Shot, by the way, at level 7, so they do a lot. But 13s are through first for Cool Cats again. So all while there's fighting and that Zul has to come down, the Vikings have been getting it the whole time. Mother Cost unfortunately falling a little bit short of combo. It does cancel Horvath's slide. We do see the cleanse coming out. Actually, no, it didn't. It just put slide on a short cooldown, I guess. We'll be fine. Beowulf stepping up a little bit too much for that. Level 7 to get... Yeah, I understand Surge of Light is a good... Oh, that orb catches one way out as well. As I was about to say, Surge of Light is a good little damage burst. It's good extra burst. But it's not really necessarily too much you can do about it. Harano does find a Vala. Kill it. And again, 2 extra stacks for Marius. Marius already at 35 of what they expect. They're getting up there. You expect maybe 4. Yeah, I reckon this map you can expect a good high 40s, low 50s by 20. If I'm to like give a general number if you're hitting a lot of your Qs. But I never actually even finished saying heroic talents. I'm going to quickly cover them. We do also have a Wave Force Li Ming and the High 5 Lucio on the other side. We do have Lightning Ball on the Cassia, Jug of 1,000 drinks. Jug of 1,000 cups on the Lucio. I was like, drinks, yes. Alcohol, no. This is probably just tea, but you never know. Her uncle is Chen, and that man loves his booze. Otherwise, we do also have the Icefall May, Commandant Odin Tigers, and the play again on the Vikings. So is this still your build, Ektar? Do you also go Nordic Attack Squad? Tell me, Ektar. Do you go Nordic Attack Squad or do you go Jump? Reveal me your secrets. Reveal them. But no, we do see a grenade hitting Marius and Koss. We do... No, it isn't. I know, that's actively why I'm trying to just get Ektar to say something. But no, we do see the team backing on out. There was an aggressive positioning by Pidgeons, Perilous Pigeons, but they are going to slowly run away. Icy Morning helping them with that. That movement speed does a lot. Right, 1 objective this time. All while TLV have been soaking. It's actually getting in favor. So, what was the equivalent talent at the time? I don't know. I never... Fun fact, one of the first heroes I ever got out of a loot box was TLV, and that was a horrible experience. The other one was Maiev, and that also sucked. But now we can see a big fight coming out. We do see basically the kitchen sink thrown by both teams. You can see that it is the Tigers going down first, stuck in the middle of what I call a Venn diagram of, oh god, what the hell is going on there? And then we can see a stun coming out of Horvath. Horvath actually gets pushed. Safety was going to be a relative term there. Safety by Crate Beast, but then does end up going down to those Vala Qs anyway, which, by the way, is at 39, and also we see a Viking dead. Where did I just swear I just saw their body just go flying somewhere. My new game is just looking for where the bloody Viking Eric body goes ragdolling. You see a charge coming into Beowulf. Beowulf getting that Surge of Light off. However, Mother Cost is making sure they can't leave, and that will be a kill by the Lucio, actually. Icy Morning swoops on it and steals it. And that is a good QEQ. And once again, by Marius hitting a lot of these Qs. And we can see more and more people going down to them. As they're at 42 now, that is something to watch out for potentially. But yeah, Maev turns out not an easy one if it's your first time ever playing a MOBA. It in fact sucks to play for your first time ever playing a MOBA. Don't do it. Vikings are even worse. Give me like, if you give me like a Li Ming or a Chromie or like a standard offlaner like the Orc, I would have been fine. But the game's like, nah, mate, nah. Oh, that's far worse. No, I'm reading that was what no one took a text what used to be. Yeah, there we see the spell armor on Horvath. I'm not surprised that was a pickup considering the amount of spell damage comes in. However, that doesn't save him as a Li Ming. But Li Ming does find the May. We see heard of a lightning ball giving a good few bounces. They do back out. Krape's ultimately going to be fine. It was Giga. Did all the Vikings have to be together as well? Did it have that same caveat? Or is it like you can just activate it anywhere and it's in it? But no, we see Beowulf being chased out. Once again, oh look. They're holding this area. This is where you live once you have this building. I love it when people realize this is your home now. You can only leave for an objective, which is coming up. You can go leave your home for an objective. Now's the time. Never mind. We see Crate Beast there. So honestly, you don't need to leave. But once again, you're letting people in your house push back onto them. Don't let them get away with this. You're letting them get away with too much. Again, they're getting away with too much. This is your building. This is your home. Pidgeons, Perilous, Pigeons, this is yours. Push over, just run in them. But no, we do now see that they are going to try defending into accommodate Odin's not the easiest. Also another Viking dead. We do see Li Ming chasing them as they're getting that top right one. So all the while we've just been stalling this. Marius actually goes down. We can see now Jugs has dropped. High five onto Koz. Koz gets to live. Lucio boops Horvath away. And they held that building for long enough where they did manage to get 10 shots out of a possible 15. That one for them. But that is now going to be turned back over to Cool Cats and Kittens. They do finally get their building back. And now we do see there is a Camp Steel coming out. But there's not too much we can do. Crate Beast went in. Maybe not the best idea. We can see they're pushed out by May. However, ultimately will be fine. Also, we'll note that Crate Beast is that Calamity. It does seem to be questioned, yeah. Vala has been punished once. Yeah, once. You know what, Crate Beast? That's pretty safe. Also, welcome. First up, you trailer. I hope you're doing well this evening. That first one was a bit rough, but this one seems to be much better for you guys. Right, we do see now that camp is being taken. Push over. Really? Yeah, Vala's actually popping off. But again, Vala is at 50 stacks already, and they're about to get even higher. Oh, Pusho is so sorry to hear that. I do see that you picked up the Neo Steel coating, but even that is not really enough to deal with the amount of damage that can come through. As we see now, the teams are stepping up. 2 objectives up, not necessarily. Yeah, Neo Steel was very good here into that comp. However, Vala does still have Manticore, so it's like, eh. I do love it. But I guess they've both had some really good moments this series so far. And I know some teams just like being casted. Not every team gets casted every week. Albeit I think this is the second time I've casted Cool Cat Skins this season, so maybe not combined. Also just hearing all those lightning balls still here, by the way. Hearing all of these QEQs going off is a lot. But that was a very good high five. We do see that Diablo goes in, pushover pulled in, pushover. I feel like why they don't feel safe is that is a quick 3-man kill now for the side of Pidgeons, Perilous, Pigeons, and they can now see that it is crazy for Harano running at them. That is Eric going down. Marius is chasing the other 2. Icy Morning also doing what they can. They're just going to get... Oh, there's QEQ. Crazy for Harano. Loses all 3 Vikings. Unfortunately, that's no play again this time. However, it looks like they did account for that, and they took the sequel at level 20. Other things to note is we do have big red button on the Tychus. May went for big one as well. So a lot of big level 20s coming through. We'll see the jug of 1,000,000 cups on the Lily, as well as Infinite Lightning Ball Cassia, which unfortunately was countered by the Ice Wall. Yeah, this one. Well, the first one was also quite in favor of Cool Cats and Kittens. They actually kept all of their buildings throughout it. So, as I said, both teams have had good moments this series so far. This just happens to be Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons is doing pretty well on this map as they get 2 quick conversions. Yes, this game does. Yes. Other 20 to note is we do actually have that. Oh, I can't remember what this is called. Mortal Wound on the Zul, Hellgate, Diablo, Acrobat, Vala, Tasha's Elements, Talrash's Elements. I'm like, something's not right here. On the Leeming and Mixing Fire Lucio. I love Mixing Fire and Lucio. I love just running up, slapping people and running away. Speaking of which, it looks like we're going to get some slapping going on now. Beowulf is it? Wolf? A root. And that's like the last person you want rooted. We see Lubidium does drop Cleanse for that. This building is taking back. So, not necessarily a winning position. Yeah, that's probably why. I've been playing a lot of D&D recently. Like, a lot of D&D recently. I was thinking of Tasha from there. But now we see them pushing into this bottom building. Honestly, you can see if someone quickly gets swapped. Okay, Harano actually looks like they're wanting to steal it. Oh, that's all happening, so that will probably be unfortunate. But we do see Mother Cost does Hellgate to get out of danger. All while Harano is getting that objective. Icy Morning can't get in time. They do get it for relatively free. On that, we do see another building continue getting pushed into. Nice orb by Great Beast. But push over in that Odin, looking in a pretty good spot. But the Odin is over. What are they going to be able to do now? Grenade hitting the building. Marius finding their Q on the push. Oh my gosh. Just for swarming him. That was the spell unpopped. Also, we note 1 Viking down. But a good split by Marius and Great Beast. Only getting 2 bounces out of the Infinite Lightning. Push over, taking damage. And they do go down. There is no Neo Steel coating that time. And that is very unfortunate for our dear friend Tychus. I'm so sorry, Pushover. I can see why this was not a safe game for you all in all. There may be a boss call coming out. There may just be a 6 cap. Hard to say. But no, it looks like we're getting a boss call. All while just barely skirting around. Crazy for Harano. We can see it is being started by the side of Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons. And bottom is being converted back by Cool Cats and Kittens. They did have a time. You may as well get it now. As it makes the next objectives phase much easier. I really want to say much and next at the same time. Not quite how words work, Lime. Not quite how words work. But we do now see it as objective phase. They don't necessarily need to aggress into this. Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons can play safe and get this. We see 1 Viking go down. We see the next Viking in the firing line. But I imagine we're going to see almost immediately a play again popped by Eric. No, they don't even need to do it immediately. We can just get there on objective first. But then there's still the issue of needing to push into this one. And we can see Craig is fighting behind it. Horvath goes in, finds the big one on top of him. And this is not going to be an easiest fight. We do see the skeletal wall dropped, and it does a decent amount of damage. We see 2 kills now. That is Icy Morning getting hit by the Commandeer Odin, that big red button directly on top of him. Marius low, that's actually the 2nd kill, but we see Vikings starting to drop. We see that Li Ming is starting to pop off. Pushover and Lubidium are the only ones left. Cool Cats and Kittens. However, Pushover tries dashing out. 16 health, barely, but no, they weren't able to save him. Lubidium only just now pops the Jug of a Million Cups. However, that will be the 2nd game of the series, going over to the side of Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons. So that means we are going to go into a map number 3. GG both teams, well played. Let me go over to the stats screen, and while we look at the numbers, well, actually, while we look at the talents, let's have a quick look at talents. But welcome, Cos, hope you're doing well. I'm going to quickly fill up my water bottle. I'll be right back. So if you see anything that interests you, just type in Jacko. Oh yeah, why did they choose this? And I'll try to explain, but I'm bad at this. Those are very nice stacks. But yeah, Vala did excellent in terms of stacking. Cassia also did pretty well, 92, getting up there. But it's really the only main scaling stats I can think of. I do like the Lucio pickup of going into that Q build at 4 and 7. It's pretty, actually, it makes you pretty survivable as Lucio and actually gets a decent amount of value, especially on maps such as this, where there's a lot of walls and a constant amount of areas. Even the objective, technically, is a wall. Yep, so that is my really kind of main takeaways from the talent. I did like the May going into the spell armor at 4. Helped her out a lot. Especially into the heavy spell damage, but unfortunately, Marius was so stacked by the end that it was tearing for everything. Which we can see, just shy of 100k damage with Q build is a lot. Yeah, sure, Tiger's got pretty close, 92k as well. But Tiger's is also very well known for his blob, especially on things such as Diablo. In terms of Soak, we do see that Zul, 205k compared to the Vikings, 177. And very close, Siege. In terms of Soak, very close. Only a 1k difference, barely going over to TLV's favor. But right, we will go into the map view screen once again. And we will figure out what our last map of the evening is. What do we think it is, chat? Also, if someone from the teams know who the map pick and first pick for each map, that'd be great if you could tell me. But it looks like we are ending on Volskaya Foundry. Ektar, no. I think we'd first pick all 3 maps. Okay. But. There we go. Fixed it. So we do have Volskaya ending it up. I am very happy it is not Infernal Shrines because Ektar doesn't get to see my bad spelling of, my bad sentence structure. But we're getting into the game now. I'm going to switch over. We're going to see how this one goes. Let's start this side, because we do see on the side of Cool Cats and Kittens, pushover is back on the Vala. Thank you, Mothercos, for following. We also see Lubidium on the Anduin. Horvath is on Muradin. Descolata actually has been subbed in. We are out Harano. Harano is not on this one, but we see Chromie picked up. Beowulf is on the... So, Descolata on the Chromie, and Beowulf is on the... Ragnaros. Also, thank you for following. Great beast. On the other side, we do see... I see money back on Lucio. Mr. Craig is on the... Leoric. Crate Beast on the... No, I nearly said Rhaegar. That's the wrong dog. Greymane. Marius is on the Nazebo. And Mothercos rounding things out with that Garrosh. Very good point control. Yeah, each map Vala. What a surprise. But does the pick win ratio ever stay 1-1? Interesting to say. It'll be hard to know. But Beowulf is going to get pulled out already. And will be able to hold on. Horvath, very aggressive. One thing I've learned about Horvath's Muradin is it likes running at people and will often jump in. And you can't do that into a Garrosh comp. In fact, Garrosh is one person that balances that extremely well. Look, already up here again. Full short of the hammer. Mothercos playing a little bit safe. And they're using Marius to get that double stock now. They're going to be a very... It's a weird situation. Garrosh is a tank that likes early game. But then we have Marius, who is probably on the late game of all heroes. The latest game hero of all is Nazebo. A B and V for Horvath. What the? Interesting. Why? I don't know why. Actually, maybe don't type that, but that's a very interesting one to say the least. But we do now see Muradin is once again playing that very aggressive. We do see Crate Beast and Mr. Craig dealing with that camp. All while Marius and Mothercos are just gonna soak. That's what they want. Marius wants to stack. Speaking of stacking, what do we have for talents? We do have Q for cost at level 1. Getting a nice one there. We have that Spider build Nazebo, as well as they're already at 25 Voodoo Ritual and 23 Widowmakers. Not bad. The other side, we do see, again, that aggressive Muradin. As I said, I do know, Horvath likes jumping. Disparate in 2 distinct ways. I guess that makes sense, yeah. Which, I know Horvath is going to take the heavy impact at level 7. I've casted one game where Horvath series where Horvath just kept picking it, so I know at what point what Horvath wants. We also see Chromie to go over Sandblast. No, once again the first time at level 1 along this lines of Vala's auto attack as well. We'll see it's Piercing Light Anduin, and the Ragnaros has picked up, I don't know what this is called, Catching Fire. Nice slam. Horvath found in a bush. And will be forced out by Cos. Just because. Nice little root there by Lubidium. Doesn't really matter. Cos is not really the pressuring them at that point. They were just fishing for a stack. They did try, but weren't able to catch that fish. Fish. Also, thank you for following Mother Cos. I just have the alerts off in the actual map itself. Cos is just standing there menacingly, hitting minions. Horvath is going to be getting that objective, but I think there's just a let's get 7s then go. As once you get 7s, there's some pretty good power spikes actually for the side of... How have you followed again? Have you guys just followed twice? Or is my stream elements breaking? Well, you see Leoric goes down bottom, there's a heavy rotate, and Mr. Craig is the one that suffers for it. Rotate coming out. I am going to get... What the... Twitch is having something weird going on today, because I think... Unless Ektar already wasn't following. Ektar, thank you for following. I'm so confused. But no, let's have a look at what's happening here. Okay. Frowny face Lime coming out. But no, we gotta get back into it. You see, the comp of Cool Cats and Kittens pretty confidently holding the objective. We do see that Cos is forced out, and we do now have the objective going over in favor of Cool Cats and Kittens. However, may not necessarily be a bad thing, as we can use a little bit this time, a little bit stack, as we do see Greymane has gone Wizened Duelist. Don't ruin it, Ektar. I will turn alerts off. You'll ruin the fun for everyone. But we do now see... Actually, Muradin did end up going Skullcracker. We do have Rewind coming out. Throw coming out to Great Beast. They need to keep those stacks going. I see Morning taking a lot of damage. And Mother Cos backing out, taking the damage. They're going to live. And I want to point out... Very interesting to pick... Rewind here. Because Lucio can go high 5. And that essentially kills Rewind. High 5 can invalidate Rewind with a well-timed high 5. You just wait for Chromie to do it, and you just, boop, you know, your little slap your mate, and we're gonna be fine. Yeah, it looks like it may have been accident for what Pushover said. It may just be habit. It may just be we're not used to it. Oh, it is called temporal loop. You're right. It's rewind either way. You're rewinding time back to it. But no, we do see now teams are pushing in. Mother Cos throws Muradin off. Muradin jumping straight back in. And that's someone you can now actually blow up. Cos does pick up the support camp there. They do pick up that activatable item. And they do back out to safety. And now we do see Tens through. Also, welcome Tin. I hope you're doing well this evening. Welcome to... I think I figured out who... Decimated Taunt. It looks like the team decided Decimate. But actually, double temporal loop, unironically, isn't bad. But it just doesn't work as well with the Chromie build you're wanting. But yeah, it looks like fair enough. We do have Heroics move for both teams. We do have Decimate Garrosh. We do have the Gargantuan on the Nazebo, who doesn't quite have their Spider stacks yet. But they are already at 132 stacks of their Voodoo Ritual. So we'll be relatively healthy coming into the late game. And they basically don't have far left to go to get that... I can't remember what it is. This is Division A, Tin. As it says in the big A in the middle. But yeah, no, if you're tabbed out, that's fine. We do also see the Go for Front Greymane and High 5 Lucio. And it looks like the Leoric's still figuring it out. On the other hand, we do have Anduin going Holy Word Salvation. Also, I just seen it has been... True. I have seen now it is the Entomb picked up by Leoric. But we do see Hollywood Salvation on the Anduin. Nice pull onto Descolada. Descolada immediately saved. We do also see the... What is it? Rain of Pidge. Oh. That happens. He asked if he could march? No. Bad. Okay. I don't mind march. I really don't. But there's a lot of situations where you just Entomb's better. Other things to know is we do also have Lava Wave, Ragnaros, and the Temporal Loop, as we said on Chromie. Yeah, March can be good into like a lot of heavy melee comps. It can actually do very well. But even then, Entomb just does good. Entomb do good. Hard to deal with Entomb for a lot of heroes. March makes it so we can't get... Ectar, I swear to God. High Five makes it so you can't get Temporal Looped. Since you're dumping all the ultras, not fair enough. You know what? That's entirely fair enough, Tin. I'm just an assassin move. But Mr. Craig goes down. They were unfortunate enough to run into all 5 members. You know what? Craig actually could have lived there if there was March. I'm going to say it now. Craig, you should have picked March. No, maybe not March there, but it's got to be a building taken middle for the team. Mr. Craig doing their best to come back. But they are absolutely just wailing on that building, and there's not too much that the team can do about it, as they are just up top channeling objective. He could take it next month. That is true. I want to do an event where heroes can only take their lesser pick to their ults. Like, get TLV and they have to go, the Viking Longship. Vala has to go Strafe. Lucio has to go Sound Barrier. Yeah. Which ult does Phoenix take? See, Bahamut, I assume would have said, Phoenix doesn't have an ult. Okay, so Phoenix just probably actually said what he said. Phoenix, if they have to take the bad one, I guess they have to take Planet Cracker, but that still has its uses. But then you're also missing the setup uses for it. Speaking of setup, we do see that is the Entomb coming out. Mr. Craig didn't quite stop it, so no one was able to get it. We do see Descolada stop. And actually, we do see the Heron Veer again, as Chromie did use that little short-range teleport out. Mothercost is going to start Beyblading middle of it. Horvath is taking a lot of damage. We did see an aggressive jump, and they will go down. Ectar, I swear to God. I'm going to time you out. But we do see Icy Morning gets absolutely hit by a Q. Okay, so there is a weird repeat in my thing. Because I didn't hear it tick through that time, but it did tick through the other time. I've got to double check why that is happening. That is not something I know enough about. So it may even say Tin's name again soon, I'd imagine. Will it say Tin's name again soon? Keep an eye on that. But we do see... Yep, there it is. There's Tin's name. Why is Stream Elements doing double? Bugger. I was like, oh, that's going to happen soon. Also, Mr. Craig is training Beowulf. Beowulf now are going to be in an awkward position unless they can get to their team. But it looks like they can get to their team in time. Chromie stuck in a zombie wall. Chromie will go down. We do see the hive coming out from Icy Morning. That's a lava wave coming straight through. Marius and Coles and Co. need to get out of the way. You can see now Horvath and Beowulf being stuck to the turret, slowing everything down. There comes a high five. You can temporal loop things out if you Chromie. High five has come out on most heroes. Pushover does get the roll off. Yeah. Fair enough. Annoying, but fair enough. But we do see now that building is being taken down pretty quickly. Greymane does have that attack speed bonus at level 16 by the looks of things. Note they are just attacking quickly. And they're at 13 stacks of their White and Duelist. She can't do it while she's dead. No, that is true. But now we do see their teams are coming back into an aggressive position. We do see Mr. Craig Ghost forming on in. We see the W. Entomb's nearly back up already. And that is an interrupt of Anduin to Rock just before it can go off. So went on short cooldown. Rubidium doing their best, but no, that is a lot of damage coming out. We did hear the go for front. Greymane does rip things apart. They did go for percent damage at level 16, and that is Chromie there to follow afterwards. They did give a stack. They did give a quest complete, but unfortunately they didn't live much longer. Oh, just cool here. They're good. This is a rough one for Cool Cats and Kittens. By no means is it as one-sided as the other maps have been. But it does look like Pidge's Perilous Pigeons are hitting the ground, running this, starting to build that momentum this time. And I'm still sitting there going, why the salvation? Here's a bag of holding. Greyman has a bag of holding. That's why he can swipe with his thing. Turret's in my back pocket. Back pocket of holding. It's like a bag of holding, just a back pocket. It can fit an infinite amount of stuff in there as long as it's not living and doesn't need air to survive. Which I guess is anything living. Right, we do see now rotations coming around. Oh, Mr. Craig finds the enemy team, decides to leave. Going, you know what? Don't want to deal with that. Not my problem. I'm just going to go soak here. And now we do see a similar trade to last time coming out. The team of Cool Cats and Kittens just heavily pushing top in favor of bottom. But now we do actually see a little bit of a change for what we did last time. So we're going, you know what? You want to do forts? We'll get the keep. We can see now they're going to start pushing. They're not going to quite get there in time. There is going to be a rotation out. Beowulf is backing. We're going to have to get an aggressive push before they can get there. But no, that's not going to quite get there. So Beowulf is not going to need to use Molten Core. But they were at least in a position where they could if they needed to. Horvath has been found by Mr. Craig. Vice versa. We do see Lucio has gone on to the objective. So they know they're not all together. They know someone's missing. They just don't know who. We know. Because we have a map. The team of Cool Cats Kittens don't. Because they have a map, they just can't see all of it. Because they're more like this. That's the map they see. Right, let's go back to everyone, and they're just aggressively taking camps. Great Beast can see them, but there's not much they can do. Lucio is coming up now. And Mother Koss has found Horvath, throws him in. But Horvath, I imagine, still has jump up. They haven't used it in a little bit. And this camp will be slowly being taken down. Lucio sitting back on the bottom objective. And we'll get the Protector. Maybe I can see him just trying to figure out what to do down here. Yeah, Cool Cats and Kittens are playing very passive. So they could have gone much more aggressive, but instead they've backed and are going to be just defending. Meanwhile, Lucio just taking the mech out for a nice walk. They've got on the car, they're going for a nice Sunday drive. They're like, you know what? Let me just chill for a bit. Let me just vibe. We need to get someone of that gunner seat, and looks like Mr. Craig is going to be the one to do so. Nope. You don't need it. Keep in mind, Lucio is in the mech. You do need them out soon if you want healing. Oh, Horvath didn't quite hold on. Anduin didn't quite give it up in time. And we do see that it is shoved coming out onto them. Oh, well, Lucio's doing best. And we now see that Leoric has jumped in. Now that Entomb has been used. And this building is just getting punched. And now we do have the push on the keep. 20s are through, so I'm going to quickly open up that so you can see the Storm Talents. And as you see, the Zebo has already finished that Vile Infection. They finished a while ago. They're at 235. They have 70? 60 more than they actually need. We now see that it is pushing on, does a decent amount of damage. We do see Mr. Craig was swapped out for Garrosh. And speaking of which, Garrosh pops out of a mech. I see him want to take a few shots. Ultimately will be fine. Ragnaros has been flipped over. That was the Silence Entomb. And we're nearly too close to the Entombed and actually pull Beowulf into it, but Beowulf barely makes it over. Nice stun by Mother Koss. Did already finish the quest as well. And also note, Greymane is at 19 Rising Duelist stacks, and Valor at 121 stacks of Creed of a Hunter. Sands finding Koss once again. Koss probably not happy with those Sands coming through. No double loop. Yeah, no double loop, but in essence, if you have Piercing Sands, you don't really need to rely on double loop. And double loop is still at least a good enough tool to scare Lucio into not using high five. Just to go, oh, if I use high five now, I won't have it for loop, but you may want it to use for a CC, so it very much makes it a decision tool, which, when do you pick that up? Which, when you are Lucio or any player, having to make that decision sometimes becomes very difficult. As you go, do I want to deal with the CC now? Or do I want to have the tool to deal with that heroic in a few seconds after? We see now there is that camp being taken top. Once again, the consideration of pushing a fort hard. But no, it looks like there is just going to be a... Horvath, why'd you jump? There is just going to be a safe rotate. Speaking of safe rotate, Beowulf does escape. And the team of... Yeah, 4 turrets, no kidding. Pidgeons, Perilous, Pidgeons does grab 4 turrets and a healing camp. They have it all, Koss. You have it all. We do now see that is a siege camp picked up. 20s now through for the side of Cool Cats and Kittens. We do see the rewind picked up Mirrodin. Vala went that Firefly Quiver, so important. We also have a double Lava Wave Ragnaros. Piercing Sounds Chromie, and Anduin's thinking about it. I don't think I ever mentioned that, but we do have it buried alive. Deadly Calm, Vile Infection, because I got 2 distracted by Vile Infection. Also Mixing Fire Lucio, and Tooth and Claw on the Greymane, so that AoE auto attacks on the Worgen form. And once again, we now have a very aggressive positioning. Beowulf stepping up quite far. Mr. Craig hidden in a bush. They're just going to see if anyone rotates. Yeah, Pidge's Perilous Pidgeons has very good 20s. And that's going to be something that Cool Catsigans has to deal with. They do have good ones of their own, but even Deadly Calm by itself makes things a lot harder to fight into. Lubidium has gone with... Yeah, Farflight Quiver. No kidding. Vessel's really going to get around to in a few moments. But we do will see Large Storm Wind picked up by Anduin. Farflight Quiver makes it much harder for Cos and Mr. Craig to get on top of Vala. Vala can play a lot safer now with a lot less pressure coming into them, which, by what Pushover has said a lot, they've been a bit scared of it ever since that second map. We see Q clearing the bush. Horvath now stepping up and seeing if they can take throw. Cos doesn't quite throw him, just slaps him once. We do see a Q out. And camp is being taken by Cool Catsigans. But yeah, I can see what you mean. By that, Valor is now Chromie. We just see jump up. There is the Q. There is a lot of damage on the Horvath. Horvath gets pulled out, and we see the Entomb coming out onto Ragnaros. And unfortunately, Bidium's ult didn't get cancelled, but it didn't really matter. As you do see now 3 kills for the side of Cool Cats and Kittens. Oh my gosh, all the turrets. Cool Catsigans, and we do see now they're running it down. We do have another go for a throw by the sounds of things. And we can see now that is a full wipe for Pidgeons, Perilous Pidgeons, and that is GG's score by both teams. Core is going to go down here. And that is going to be the game. And the series going over to the team of Pidgeons, Perilous Pidgeons. Well played, GG. Let me go on over to that game summary screen, shall I? Okay, I'm very sad I can't hide the chat here. There probably is a way, but Lubidium putting the barometer on the ground, despite it not possibly being able to make a difference. Look, gotta push your buttons. Push every button you can. But no, that was a good series. We do see Nazebo had most soak for siege for the side of Pidgeons, Perilous Pidgeons, while Ragnaros had it for the side of... No, it is. I was agreeing. I was agreeing. But we do see Ragnaros did go most siege for thing, but that is Lava. I'll find that out next time. But good to know, Tin. I think I got Aliobs after the website with all the controls went down, which makes it much harder for me to figure out how to use it. But we do also see, in terms of soak, 20k on Leoric compared to 23k. Ragnaros, hero damage, Greymane, and Nazebo. Nazebo actually did most for him, Greymane 40k, but Chromie did excellent, but Violet did have a lot harder time that time as well. In terms of healing, Lucio did a fair chunk, and Anduin tried their best, but couldn't quite keep up. In terms of talents, anything of note here? Horvath was not allowed to go their jump build. They had to go the Skullcracker. We also did see interesting talents picked up, like that Wizenduelist, however you say it. That auto attacks up to 22% extra damage on auto attacks is a lot, and Greymane was definitely loving it right there. Of his note spider build, 285 stacks from Nazebo. Marius very hard to kill by the end of that. And yeah, the Deadly Calm, and most importantly actually, here and there, actually saved Chromie a couple of times. Very good usage of it. I don't see it picked often, but when it works, it works. So let me go over to the game summary map view screen, as we can see how the series went down. As we can see, it was actually a reverse sweep. Pidgeons, Perilous Pidgeons did lose the first map. Cool Catsigans, actually, Kittens, very commanding on that first map. We then did see the comeback onto Towers of Doom. Very strong play by Pidgeons, Perilous Pidgeons. Quite hard for him to push in. And while the last map was more even than the other two, it still was Pidgeons, Perilous Pidgeons at the end of the day. So well played to that team. However, both teams did excellent this series. They should be... Pardon me, they should be good ones going into the later stages. I know Cool Cats and Kittens can wreck shop when things click together, but Pidgeons, Perilous, Pidgeons did win out the game today, and as a new team, they will may only get stronger and stronger from here on out. I imagine Div A may need to keep an eye on both these teams. So if you're, I don't know, let's say an Ectar and Senpai sitting in chat, you may have to keep an eye on that. So that is going to be it for me for now. I'm going to raid Plasticine, as they are doing their own stuff. That is going to be it for me. I've been your host, The Lime Bus. And to everyone watching, I wish you good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending where you are in the time zone of the world, because time zones are weird. And apparently, I am tired. Oh, right, you guys did forfeit last week. That is correct. I was told that. Then I told IC that you only have 3 forfeits per season. You went, let's not do any more forfeits. But that'll be it for now. I wish everyone have a good time. I'll catch you all in the Nexus. Goodbye, at least, for now.